Caffeine is one of the most widely consumed substances in the world. For many of us, it is our go-to pick-me-up, from a strong cup of coffee in the morning to a refreshing energy drink during the afternoon slump. But here is the thing. We've all heard the warnings about caffeine as potential impact on sleep, yet some of us still don't really understand how it works. Does caffeine really keep you awake at night? Can it affect your sleep quality hours after you've consumed it? Well, in today's video, we're going to uncover how caffeine really impacts your sleep, why it keeps you from getting good rest, and how you can manage your caffeine consumption to avoid disrupting your sleep routine. By the end of this, you will know exactly what caffeine is doing to your body, and how you can balance your love for coffee with a good night's sleep. Before we talk about how caffeine affects sleep, let's understand what caffeine actually is. Caffeine is a natural stimulant found in coffee, tea, chocolate, and some sodas. When you consume caffeine, it gets absorbed into your bloodstream and travels to your brain, where it blocks the action of a neurotransmitter called adenosine. Now, adenosine is a natural chemical in the brain that helps promote sleepiness and relaxation. When adenosine builds up, it essentially signals to your body that it's time to rest. However, caffeine interferes with this process by blocking adenosine's ability to bind to its receptors, which keeps you feeling awake, alert, and energized. Think of adenosine like a sleepy gas. The more it builds up, the more your body wants to sleep. Caffeine acts like a barrier that stops that gas from making you feel tired. This is why you can feel energized after a cup of coffee or tea. The downside: this energy boost doesn't just disappear after a couple of hours. Now let's dive into how caffeine affects your sleep. The most obvious effect is that caffeine keeps you awake, but there's more going on here than just preventing sleep. When you consume caffeine, it stays in your system for a long time, with effects lasting anywhere from 3 to 7 hours. This means, even if you have that afternoon cup of coffee, caffeine could still be circulating in your bloodstream by bedtime. That lingering caffeine affects both the time it takes you to fall asleep and the quality of your sleep once you do. Imagine your brain is like a computer. When you've had too much caffeine, it's like trying to run too many programs at once. It gets sluggish, and the system just doesn't work as well. As a result, caffeine reduces your deep sleep and disrupts your OM cycles, the restorative stages of sleep where you get the most rest. So even if you fall asleep, your body's not getting the full restful sleep it needs to recharge for the next day. Caffeine sensitivity and half-life. Not everyone reacts to caffeine the same way, and this is where caffeine sensitivity comes into play. Some people can drink a cup of coffee late in the day and sleep like a baby, while others might be wide awake for hours after a small espresso. This varies based on your genetics, tolerance, age, and even how often you drink caffeine. One factor contributing to this is caffeine's half-life. The half-life of caffeine is the amount of time it takes for half of the caffeine you consume to leave your system. On average, caffeine's half-life is about 5 hours. So, if you have 100 milligrams of caffeine at 3 p.m., by 8 p.m., you'll still have 50 milligrams in your system. This lingering caffeine can interfere with your sleep, especially if you consume it later in the day. As we get older, our bodies metabolize caffeine more slowly, which is another reason why some older adults find it more difficult to sleep after having caffeine. But why does caffeine affect sleep for hours after consumption? Well, it's all about how long it takes your body to process caffeine. While you might feel the energy boost immediately after drinking it, it takes hours for your body to metabolize and eliminate caffeine. The effects linger, and even small amounts can cause sleep disruptions. So, let's say you're sensitive to caffeine and you have a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. By the time 9 p.m. rolls around, half of that caffeine is still in your system, keeping you alert and interfering with your natural sleep rhythms. This is why experts recommend avoiding caffeine at least 6 hours before bedtime, so your body has time to clear it out of your system before it's time to sleep. Okay, so we know that caffeine can impact sleep, but what can we do about it? Here are a few practical tips to manage your caffeine consumption while still enjoying your favorite caffeinated beverages. 1. Limit caffeine in the afternoon. Aim to consume caffeine only in the morning or early afternoon, and avoid it after 3 p.m. This will give your body plenty of time to process and eliminate caffeine before bedtime. 2. Know your limits. Be mindful of how much caffeine you're drinking throughout the day. For most adults, 200 to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day is safe, but if you're sensitive to caffeine, you might need to cut back. 3. Switch to decaf. If you love the ritual of your coffee but want to avoid disrupting your sleep, consider switching to decaf or try herbal teas in the evening. These are caffeine-free and can still give you a soothing, comforting drink without the sleep-interfering effects. 4. Stay hydrated. Caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it can make you urinate more frequently. So, remember to drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated and counteract caffeine as dehydrating effects. 5. Try caffeine alternatives. Looking for an energy boost without the caffeine? Green tea or matcha can give you a lighter, longer-lasting boost of energy without the crash or interference with sleep. In conclusion, so, does caffeine really impact sleep? Absolutely yes. Caffeine can keep you awake for hours after you consume it, disrupt your sleep quality, and leave you feeling less rested the next day. But with a little strategy, you can still enjoy your favorite caffeinated drinks without letting them interfere with your rest. If this video helped you understand how caffeine affects sleep, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on health and wellness. Do you find that caffeine disrupts your sleep? Drop a comment below and share your experience. We'd love to hear from you.